My parents were baptized at a later age, and so I kept quiet about it for whatever reason. And so it's just, like I said, it's been an awakening in me, and something has really started to lift this out of me.
Wow.
And so it's been really cool to start to explore it and read the Bible. I've got the Bible app on my phone, and so I read the Bible every morning. That's part of 5 daily non-negotiables now, is where I read a book, 10 pages of a book every single day, and that I choose to read is the Bible.
There you go. All right. Well, all the way from Canada, I mean, dude, this is technically almost like round 3, right? Because we did the first one, Real Estate versus Technology. And then anyone out there, you want to watch that, you're more than welcome on the real estate side. We'll get a little bit of real estate, but not too much today. We're going to talk a little bit about, different things to help you have more liftoff, from coaching and mindset, staying consistent. Kelley, welcome to the Liftoff experience. Super excited to have you. We just gave him and his wife a tour of the house, so you can kind of get an idea of where you're at and what's happening with that. But how was your travels to the States?
It was good. No problems whatsoever. Beautiful flight. About 3 hours to get here from Colona.
Oh, that's not bad.
Direct, which is unusual for me. Every time I've got to fly out of Colona, I've got to connect somewhere else, either through Vancouver or Calgary or whatever. So they just opened up some flights down to Phoenix here, I think probably within the last year or 2.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, nice direct 3 hours up early.
And you probably don't have the issues like what we have over here at the whole. I mean, I think it's clearing up now, but the government shut down, TSA, hours of waiting.
And don't have any of that.
Yeah.
We have, because we don't have U.S. customs in the Colona airport, we have to clear customs in Phoenix.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So when I lived in Calgary, we would go to the Calgary International Airport. Yeah. We would clear customs in the Calgary International Airport and then fly into the U.S.
Okay.
Whereas here, you've got to actually clear customs in the Phoenix airport.
Interesting.
But yeah, no government, even though the government should be shut down. If you're Canadian and you're listening to this, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. No, there's no government shutdowns or anything like that. So.
Okay, that's cool. That and hopefully now everything's starting to calm down. Knock on wood. Around here somewhere. I had no issues, so that was fine on my end, thank God. And if y'all had any issues with TSA, sorry to hear that. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, because I never even thought about something like even the shutdown would be causing issues with TSA. But so many things here in the States were affected, and I didn't even really think too much about it. Right. And it was unfortunate because my neighbor 3 doors down is Joe Nash, and so Ashley's she's the realtor, and Joe is the mortgage officer.
Okay.
And as an LO, he was having some issues getting some funding just because of the government shutdown. And even though they had the job the whole time, they could not at the end be able to call anyone because they were on a call.
Wow.
To verify employment.
Who would have thought that would have actually affected real estate?
Yes.
A government shutdown affecting real estate.
It's like, what? And I mean, I guess it was a thing. So I learned that. And then TSA as well, learned that. And hopefully they can get it together. I mean, I feel like there's a lot. I mean, you're telling me Canada's not doing so well on that as well.
Well, it depends on which side of the political spectrum, I guess, you land on.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of people in our province in British Columbia that think that the socialist NDP government is doing a fabulous job, that David Eby is the best premier that has ever walked the streets of Victoria. But, from my perspective, he is absolutely one of the worst, if not the worst, the most divisive.
Wow.
And he's structurally dismantling that province in a way that has never been seen before.
Really?
Yeah, and this actually relates right to real estate actually, because there are Indigenous groups, First Nations groups in British Columbia that they filed lawsuits against the government, and one of those lawsuits actually got settled, and the First Nations band won.
Interesting.
In the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court decided that they were good with this band claiming property rights over this entire swath of a city called Richmond, British Columbia. And in fact, it's where I was born. But it's basically what it's done is it is set a precedent within the province to allow other First Nations bands to sue the provincial government, sue the federal government to gain Aboriginal title over top of other jurisdictions. One of those that has just been released, the information just got released, even though this lawsuit got filed in 2015. People are just finding out about it now. A city of 100,000 people is under a lawsuit right now where this band is suing for Aboriginal title, which basically usurps. So in Canada, we have a bundle of rights. Okay. Yeah. So the Crown actually, that's what we call the federal government. The Crown actually has something called radical title. So they actually own the land that my house sits on. Okay. They own the land. Under radical title, they've bundled up a bunch of rights, one of which is fee simple, another one is leasehold. There's about 4 of them. And under fee simple, I can actually own the land underneath the radical title and owned my home and mortgage that land.
Interesting.
And essentially what's happened now is Aboriginal title usurps fee simple and is now just below the radical title that the Crown owns. And so what's happened is that this Aboriginal group now owns, this Cowichan group now owns the land that these 175 homes have been built on for 20 or 30 years. And these homeowners have been in these properties for 20 or 30 or 40 or even 50 years. Right. And so here's where the problem comes in. The real estate side of things. Not only are they potentially looking at a loss of home ownership. Now, some may say that that's hyperbole. We don't know. It very well could be. We don't know whether it's hyperbole yet because nobody's acted on this at this point. But what's happening is that mortgage lenders will not renew mortgages on those properties. So anybody that's got a mortgage that's coming due like this year or into 2026, they will not be able to get a renewal of the mortgage.
Whoa, that is absolutely interesting. It's so absurd that that's even possible.
It is absolutely absurd. So when we say that Canada and British Columbia are a dumpster fire, that's just one example.
Jeez Louise. I mean, hearts out to anyone out there that is subject to that situation and matter. And it's interesting that even here in the States, it's like, okay, cool. I own the home, but I don't own the land. And then you got to pay, property taxes. Right. And there's no way to get around that. And even if you were just to buy property like up north, you're still paying property taxes just because you don't own the land, even though it's like, it's almost contradictory. It's like, okay, hold on. You can buy land, but what are you really buying when you still have to pay the taxes on the land? Because technically the government owns the land. So you're like basically buying the rights to a plot that if you keep paying taxes on, you could do things to it. You can build a house, you could do whatever. Yep. But outside of that, it's like, do you really, really own anything?
Right. Well, Ron DeSantis in Florida I think he's put forward at least the idea to get rid of property taxes altogether.
Wow.
In the state of Florida. So if you own a home in the state of Florida, by his definition, you wouldn't be subject to property taxes.
Interesting.
And so people ask, they're like, well, how are you going to replace that revenue for the state government?
Yeah.
How are you going to replace that? And his response was, well, we'll tax the snowbirds.
Interesting.
We'll tax the people that are coming into our state that own properties here, and they only own them. They're only here for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah,
because that's all they can be down here for.
Yeah, without
having visas or whatever else, and we'll just tax them. And I'm like, okay, so how is that? You're still not going to replace the revenue that you're going to be able to that you're collecting from current property tax. But I absolutely agree with you. If you don't actually own the land that your house is built on, doesn't that make property tax almost illegal?
You tell us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. I mean,
I would have to say, yeah. And it's like, I feel like just in general, and this is, I'm loving this conversation going down this road, because this is what it's about, right? Is to get into these deeper topic conversations. And so y'all can even, give us your commentary and let us know what you think, because if you think about okay, how are we going to get additional income for that city? Yeah. Okay, well, let's think about this. What type of income do we need? Roads, lights, whatever the maintenance and what have you need. Let's break it down, because how many of the common folk actually understand from a tax perspective? Because no one actually says, hey, where are we spending the money? I mean, imagine if there was something that could showcase this is all the things. And so either, because it's almost like church, you go to church, you don't have to donate.
Right.
It's something that within the book, there's a certain percentage based off what you make, or you can, what you feel is right, you can donate.
Right.
So couldn't there be something from the perspective of hey, you want nice roads, you want the lights to work, you want no garbage on the, then you're going to pay this percentage And as a collective, if we all pay a certain percentage, I mean, I don't know, but I can imagine if we did our books right, I think as just individual homeowners in any given country, state, and city, we could be paying a lot less because how much money from the perspectives of the taxes that we pay actually go to maintenance?
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the big thing. I mean, you look at it from a big government perspective, and not just from a property tax perspective, but if you look at the amount of money, Canada specifically, that gives away to other countries, like our country, we actually have a space agency. It's not as big and robust as NASA, but Canada does have a space agency.
Okay.
Our federal government just pledged $500 million to fund the European Space Agency.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, I think Canada outside of the United States is the second largest contributor to the Ukraine. The Canada has given $20 billion to Ukraine.
I mean, and is this because what? Kumbaya, we're going to be friends here? Like, is this because they're going to protect you guys? I mean, what?
There's a list of examples. I could go on and on and on. It is absolutely crazy. The amount of money that they have given away, like they've given away money to African countries to fund transsexual studies in animals.
Really?
Like $5 million was given to an agency in an African country to fund this research.
It's starting to sound like a common denominator here because there's some stuff that we found here in the States that are also being funded for like somewhat similar in other countries as well.
I think every government needs a Doge. Every government needs a Doge.
100%. I'm gonna do one of oh, hey, hold on, one of these. Oh, hold on. So this one, of course. Let's go over here and Kelley. Of course, this where are we at? This card. We're still recording, but I'm going to change the card behind the scenes. 100%. I agree. I think that we definitely do because at the end of the day, like we need to look at where our money being spent. Why are we spending the money that we're spending it on? And if we could just do a better job with just looking at the potential opportunity to checks and balances, right? And why are we spending what we're spending? We don't need to.
Listen, you got to get your spending under control because you're still bringing in revenue, but you're spending way more than you make. Or, so why can't
100%
a government agency that's similar to that along the lines of Doge?
Yeah, and that's why it's like, okay, if you're a person out there and you're doing something from the perspective of a Ponzi scheme, or next you have like a monopoly going on,
right?
Well, guess what? You get punished for that. You have to go to jail for that. But then you look at taxes and it's like, okay, I work my job and then now I'm getting taxed because I have to be paid tax for where I work. So I get tax on my check. And then I get property tax, and then I get taxes on goods, services, foods, what have you. So you're getting taxed to no end. So you would think that, okay, Johnny, you shouldn't be doing a monopoly scheme there. Shouldn't be doing a Ponzi scheme. Definitely not a Ponzi scheme. But, have a monopoly. The government does that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I got one more for you.
Let's go.
This is wild. Okay. So again, British Columbia, we moved there from Alberta. I like to refer to Alberta as the free state of Alberta. Like they're just, there's so much common sense in that government. It is, I'm a little bit sorry that we left when we did, to be honest with you, from a political and just a livability perspective.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit miffed with the fact that we made the move that we did. And keep in mind, I grew up in British Columbia, and I made a move in 1998. I left BC and moved to Edmonton. And anyways, not to go there, but when I moved back to BC, I had a vehicle. My wife had a vehicle. I decided that I was going to sell my vehicle here just recently, about 4 months ago, and I bought myself a truck.
Nice.
And on that truck, it was a used vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pay tax.
Really?
I not only had to pay the goods and services tax, which is a federal tax of 5%, but I had to pay provincial sales tax on a used vehicle.
Interesting.
That never ends. So when I go to sell that truck privately,
wow,
the person that buys that vehicle is going to have to pay 7% sales tax.
OMG.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely, we're taxed. You're absolutely right. We're taxed to death. You make the money, you pay the tax on the money, you pay the property tax, you pay tax on the gas that you put in the vehicle, you pay tax on the vehicle that you purchase, you pay tax on food. Dude, we went to Winco last night to pick up a few groceries. We're staying at Airbnb right now. I took pictures of some of the groceries that absolutely blew my mind, and I tweeted them out. Like, you can buy a frozen turkey for 84 cents a pound. Like a 15-pound turkey is what, like $12? $12.50.
Yep.
That same 15-pound turkey is about $60 at home.
What?
Yeah. I found a package of
what?
Yeah, I found a package of steaks. Okay, they were top sirloin New York strips. Okay, $18. I go to Costco, buy New York strips at Costco. That same package of meat is $70.
Interesting.
I just read an article today that suggests that the federal government in Canada is deliberately restricting beef imports to keep the price of beef high. And you know, this is, I know I'm going off on a little bit of a rant here,
You're good.
It's, you know, it all
people need to know.
It started in COVID. It started in 2020. It started in 2021 when you remember that ship that went sideways in the Suez Canal, and all of a sudden vehicle prices went skyrocketing.
Yeah, used vehicles are like crazy.
They went crazy nutsoid, right? And they went nutsoid because it was like, oh well, we can't get the parts, we can't get the chips.
Yep.
Okay, that ship got unstuck like literally 6 months after it got stuck. So what are we, like midway through 2021?
Yep.
It's 4 years later, 3.5 years.
Hello,
later.
people.
Why are the price of vehicles still where they are? Like my wife she's still looking for a vehicle. We went and test drove.
Oh, you still haven't found one yet? Since
not for her, not for her yet, but she sold her Audi. So now we're out currently looking. We actually decided to look down here while we're here.
Why not?
Why not? We found a 2023 Toyota 4Runner Limited.
Yeah.
For $40K.
Wow.
That same truck at home, a 2023, is $62,000.
Driving home.
I know. Even with the exchange rate of like an extra 30%, I'm still ahead.
Drive it home.
I'm still ahead.
Buy two and sell another one.
Yeah,
and make up the difference.
That's right. Yeah,
dude, interesting. So I got a couple for you. So 2016 Nissan GTR, 2 years, bought it from Texas, used, and I didn't know this. I'll get to what I didn't know here in a second. So I actually have a little bit of a positive story when it comes to taxes. Yeah. 77,000, or no, it was 72. Texas, shipped it over. I put the tax money aside. I was going to save that just to make sure we're good. Go to the MVD, and then I go to make sure we're good. And actually, if you buy a used vehicle in the state of Arizona, because in the United States, state by state is different.
Right.
California, you would have to pay taxes on a used vehicle, but private party used vehicles, state of Arizona, no tax.
Okay.
Another big one, for you to potentially move out here. And
yes.
I'll have to say, round of applause for that one. So no taxes, that was cool. And then on the other side with Liftoff Agent, we're at a point now where it's just like Smith and I we're the only owners, 50-50 owners on that. And of course, because we are a S corporation, 50-50, all the pass-through of the profits go to him and I. Mm-hmm. So now we're like paying taxes, and we basically now are just doing like an installment agreement. And it's like, dude, it's almost like instead of us giving us a raise, we have to pay additional like installments, companies paying that. And of course, one good month we'll pay it off. It's fine, but still, it's like never ending story.
Right.
It's like, holy cow, dude. Like you want to work for yourself. You want to do something for yourself. And then it's just like, the thing that's the worst is that like you almost, and I'm just going to be honest, almost have to find out ways to avoid it. You're like finding specialists that like we talked about with your wife right before we got on the air about like the truck and writing it off unless it's under the company's name. And then I got the accident, and then the insurance company is sending me all these emails.
Right.
How much do you use the car for work? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't use it for work. I just want to maximize having the company logo on it because I'm driving, and as I drive, there's a QR code, and maybe I'll pick up a client or two.
Right.
I don't need to, but no one else does it, so I want to do it,
The only way to avoid massive taxes in Canada, and keep in mind there's different tax brackets. If you don't have a corporation and you make $150,000 to $200,000 a year, you're going to be paying about 50% of your income to income tax.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's between 44 and like 50%.
Holy cow.
If you have a corp, like both my wife and I both have corporations.
Okay. If
you have a corporation, you're subject to, I think your corporate tax is like 12%.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But then you've got to pay yourself a salary out of the corporation. Now, the key then is to keep the salary level low enough so that you're not paying into that next tax bracket where your taxes are going to be in the, between the corporate and the personal side between, 40 and 50%.
Yep.
So but then it's like, okay, what's the cost of living?
Yep.
right? So even if you're paying yourself $7,000 a month, is that enough to operate the household? Well, and that's the thing. I'm not going to get into our finances, but you know what I'm saying, right? Yep. So you've got to know like where those numbers, where those tax brackets lie, and somehow you've got to make sure that you're underneath that, so that you're not giving a ton of money back to the government
for absolutely nothing.
And really, it is nothing. I mean, you would think with the amount of money that we pay, everything would be perfect. Our healthcare system would be perfect. The roads would be perfect. The education system would be perfect. Everything would be perfect, but it's not.
No, 100%.
Falling apart.
And it's falling apart. The attention's in the wrong space. It's sad that we as business owners need to do that, because my partner and I, we want to get under the $50,000 threshold. So it's like, okay, cool. We're on payroll both for under 50,000.
Right.
And then from there, then we take a dividend, and the dividend is going to be it's less tax than, contrary. And then we're doing the best we can. Like, hey, this room here, it's $300 a month.
Right.
The gas for the vehicle, that's written off. The cell phone bills, that's written off. Whatever we can write off, and that's something for you to take into consideration too, if you want to get into business for yourself, is like put as much as you can into the business. And the thing that actually does suck that I can't stand, and this is why the insurance company, shout out Geico, not really, was like, hey, are you using this for business? They sent me 2 addendums. Okay, I filled out your DocuSign already. I'm not using it for business, because they know they make like 30% increase. They'll charge you 30% more on a monthly basis just if you use the company for business. And I get it. If you're like doing Uber and you're driving people, or you're towing stuff, hauling things.
Right.
Tech marketing company, what am I doing? I'm just driving to the gym. Maybe I find some business there. Okay, cool. I do a presentation. I'm driving myself, nobody else. Yeah. I'm not going to pay 30% more.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like I got to call them, because I get one more of those forms. Because my wife freaks out over all the little things. She'll get like a tax bill in the mail, and she's just like, "Oh my God, what is this bill?" I'm like, honey, stop. Don't worry about it. But we got to pay for it. And I feel like, honestly, they put it in the wife's name because they know the wife's going to freak out.
Yeah.
Us men are like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. 28 cents and freaking, they can take the 28 cents. I'm going to make some more money and I'll pay it later or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, well. I'm glad we got to vent a little bit. I don't know what y'all got going out there in the tax segment world, but it's good to know, because not to like discourage anyone from the perspective of starting your own business. It's just something that you have to think about. And like now we're at the point where we're getting over the million threshold. And then and it's weird. It's like the 500,000 to like 1.5, maybe $2 million. You don't really need like a specific tax strategist planner, because they're expensive. They're like $2,000 to $3,000 a month just to try to save you like $50,000 in taxes if you're bringing in like $2 million a year.
Right.
It's very interesting. So there's that threshold there. Where you're like, I'm just getting screwed up the ass. I got to pay a bunch of extra taxes until I get to that 1.1 or 2 million.
Right.
But it's very interesting. It's very interesting how you have to navigate that. And it sucks to have to navigate that to the perspective of like, can't we just like have our powers to be look out for us as people and have our best interests and not have to be backwards?
Right.
But we have to look out for ourselves and then like find the loopholes.
Yeah. And it's, everybody is there to with their hand out to take your money, to help you save this or help you save that. Not saying that you're doing anything wrong, I'm not deriding anybody for wanting to make a buck, but it's like from just getting started in business perspective to that, like that first 5-year time frame, especially in real estate.
Yeah.
I see a lot of agents are like, do I start in BC, they call it a personal real estate corporation or a PREC.
Okay.
Right. Do I start a PREC? And it's like, well, there was a case that was a court case that just got settled out here a little while ago. And you would think that your corporation would actually be able to protect you a certain amount of liability.
Yeah.
But this court case in Canada just basically threw that out the window.
What?
Yeah, it basically said that the corporation, because this person was an employee of the corporation as well as a shareholder of the corporation, I think he caused an accident or something like that and tried to claim immunity under his corp or whatever. Okay. Because he was driving the vehicle was in the corporation's name. The judge said, no, you are liable for it. It's not the corporation. We're going to make you liable. I think that's what the case was.
Interesting.
Anyway, people think, well, there's, if I screw up in my business and I give somebody the wrong advice and then they come back and sue me, I've got liability there.
Yeah.
And like, you really don't. you don't have liability, at least in Canada, at least in British Columbia. There is no lack of liability. Your company does not assume the liability.
Yeah.
Right. You as the agent, you're still the only reason why people have precs in British Columbia is A, to save on taxes, and B, to use it as kind of a savings account. Right.
Yeah.
To kind of shield money. Like in Canada, I don't know about you guys here, but your corporation can actually invest money for you.
Interesting.
So it can take money and put it into registered retirement savings plans. It can invest in mutual funds. It can invest in any sort of an investment vehicle, which is kind of a cool thing. So
that is cool.
Instead of just leaving that money, if you got $100,000 sitting in your corp and it's sitting there in a low interest business savings account of 1% or 2%, it's not doing anything for you. Right. You can take that money, invest it, put it into a vehicle that's going to earn you between 6 and 10%.
Nice
return. So why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. And I don't know, I think you can do some things. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but I think everything falls back on you personally. I mean, I know that I do a lot of investings, whether it's IRA or Jordan's life insurance policy for her to graduate, getting into a whole life, or stocks, crypto, stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting because if you don't know what you don't know, and you get out here is LLC, limited liability company. And even with that, I mean, it's so true. It's you just, you get these things to hope that you're protected personally, but then there's so many loopholes. And that's why there's lawyers that practice law that are totally over you and I. And then you don't know what you don't know until you know, because you're in the situation, and you can only plan for so much.
Right.
You can't, I'm going to just every single scenario. Yeah, right. You got a business to run, you have things to do, and shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
You just can't, man, that's unfortunate for that gentleman. And hopefully, I don't know, drive safer.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you can say with that one there, Yeah. But no, I want to, as we move into a different segment and talk a little bit more about, coaching, and a little bit more about mindset, a little bit more about, the importance, because, y'all can check out the Real Estate First Technology podcast episode. We can put the link down below, get into a little bit more Kelley's story and why he got into real estate and all that type of stuff. And, not so much real estate as much as now doing the coaching side, speaking, podcasts, school network. Congratulations on all your success with that.
Thank you.
How important is it for anyone out there to get a coach?
Oh man. Yeah, this is something. So the big part of the reason why I started the school community is because I wanted to provide not just training, but actual coaching to agents at an affordable level.
Yeah.
There are a lot of coaches out there, a lot of people that claim to be coaches, especially with certain companies in the space, and they haven't been trained. They've taken no courses. They've sold, a few homes throughout their career. And now all of a sudden they're this big badass real estate coach and
the guru.
Yeah. God love you. Good luck with that. But I'm telling you, I've had some mentors in my day. Choose your mentors wisely.
Yes.
Be patient with it. Make sure they're the right people before you decide to follow what they're saying and their advice that they're giving and that sort of thing. And so I decided to start the school community. It's actually the way I got it started is funny. They popped up in my algorithm about a year or so ago. And I was like, oh, Alex Hormozy. Oh, what's this school thing? Oh, this is kind of cool. So I checked it out, and I was kind of in the process of, you guys say process or process? Process, yeah. So in Canada, it's usually process.
Yeah.
But I spend so much time talking to Americans. I'm adopting some of the terminology.
You got it right.
Yeah. Process. Yeah. So I was going through the process of developing this community, and I started in with a company called Mighty Networks. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but so it was actually my coach had the same platform. I'm like, oh well, if it's working for him, I'll just adopt this. I'll pay for it. It was bloody expensive.
Wow.
And, I think it would cost me like $1,200 Canadian for the year or something like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
And so as I'm looking at that, I started looking at school. I signed up for their free 2-week thing. And then the 2 weeks lapsed, and then they started hitting my credit card for $9 a month.
The heck's this?
Right. And so I've totally forgot that I even signed up for it. I'm in with Mighty Networks now. And then I go to this school event, in-person school event.
Oh, nice.
In Colona. And this was like 9 months later. So this just happened back at the end of September. And so I'm in there and I'm listening to these guys talk about school and this community. And I'm like, okay, I got to go back and look at this thing again. So go back and look at it. And I'm like, okay, I'm in on this. Like $9 a month is an absolute no brainer.
Cheap.
I actually canceled the account because I was looking at my credit card statement going, what the hell is this $9 a month for? I went back and I looked at it. I'm like, well, I don't need this because I got this Mighty Networks thing.
Yeah.
So I got into the school thing and started building it. We're at almost 300 agents in there now. And we only launched at the end of September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So the whole idea here, the premise is to create a space, a community for agents of like mind to come in, collaborate, learn, help each other, but also have somebody that's kind of got the experience, 19 years in the business, solo agent, team leader, brokerage owner, all of those things, and just give as much of my experience away as I possibly can.
I love that.
And so we've got a free side of the community where we do at least one training a month. Plus there's a bunch of other perks and benefits that you get as a result of being in there.
Yeah.
We just did a full-on business planning clinic that was absolutely free. It was 5 weeks throughout the month of October. Then we've got a next tier up, which is $49 a month.
Okay.
You get 2 calls a month now. Again, you get all of the same features and benefits as you get on the free side, plus a few more things. And then we've got the next level up from there, which is $199 a month. But now you get 4 calls a month as opposed to just 1 or just 2. And so the whole premise being, the idea being, I want to bring coaching at an affordable level to as many agents as I possibly can, because I knew when I got into the business that I needed a coach. I couldn't afford a coach.
Not cheap.
And no, they're not. At $1,000 to $1,500 a month, there are some coaching companies out there that are upwards of $1,500 to $2,000 a month. We had a coach when we were building our brokerage in Calgary. We hired in 2017. I won't say his name, but man, he was bloody expensive. We were getting, I think, 20-minute calls with him once a week, and it was costing us like $2,000 US.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so we were with them for 3 months, then we just canceled. So we spent $6,000, and every single call was the exact same. So, okay, guys, how many calls did you guys make this week? And I finally got tired of it. I'm like, look, dude, I'm not pounding the phones like this. I'm just not doing it. He's like, well, that's how you recruit. That's how you're going to do this. I'm like, I didn't build my real estate business this way by cold calling people. I'm going to attract people. And so we went about it the whole Gary V way. Right?
Let's go.
Yeah, we went about it the whole Gary V way, and we just gave everything away.
Dude, I love that. I love the fact that you also have the opportunity, because what I like to do is I'll just go on YouTube. I'll watch a video. I will get Audible and do the Audible thing.
Right.
Podcast. Hey, welcome. Podcast thing. And so if you're proactive, I think it's nice that you kind of have like a proactive plan. So you've already lined everything out. Super cheap. Be proactive. Go ahead. Take all you need. And then you have the opposite side, which is a little bit more of like the hand holding, the calls, and even at that price isn't too much. And if y'all want to do the conversion of like 2,000 USD to to Canada, Canadian, and it's a pretty
$2,600.
Yes, it's $600 in addition. So the US dollar compared to the Canadian dollar, it's stronger at the moment. But I like that. I like that you have those options. I think that this podcast, right? This is the Liftoff experience. We're helping people out there lift off. So in a sense, coaching here, we're talking about taxes and the difference between, Canada and the United States, and kind of like that at the beginning. It was really cool. It was fun. And so that's for people to think about, right? And regardless if you're in real estate or not, I think just the coaching side alone is a really good idea, and to figure out what lane you want to be in. And I like that you give 3 different lanes. Well,
and to go back to your original question, like why should everybody have a coach, or why do they need a coach? I can tell you that the times I can look at my career on a spectrum, and I can identify the times when I had a coach and the times that I didn't. And anytime there was a spike in my business were the times that this is not, again, not hyperbole. I'm not bullshitting anybody here. Like, this is absolutely
Sign up for his coaching today.
Right. No, do that. But, my wife and I were talking about this last night, and, this continuum, this spectrum, like, where do you been up and down throughout your real estate career? Where was like the greatest level of consistency is when I actually had a coach. So it's, coach is somebody to come back to and bounce ideas off of, but also to have direction from, based on their level of experience. And again, especially in the real estate side of things, if you're hiring somebody that's only sold 20 homes throughout their career, is this somebody that you really trust with actually helping you to build $1 million business?
Yep.
Like, Really?
Think about it.
Or somebody that's never sold real estate in their career. This is somebody that is going to help you build your real estate business.
Yes, I say yeah.
Now, that being said, I mean, you can find really great sales coaches, and they'll help you from the sales side of things, which is great. I think sales is an art, and you should know how to sell.
Yeah,
especially in this business, isn't it? The business has certainly shifted. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
And we can definitely get into that because I got some thoughts on that too. But the idea of the consumer and the way the consumer behavior is changing, sales is definitely still relevant, but it's probably more relevant in a different kind of way, like a different type of sales strategy. Whereas, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was more the hardcore closer type mentality. Like, I've got all of these objections and here are my objection handlers and I've got my scripts, and not saying anything bad about scripts. If you know me, you know that I like scripts, right? But at the end of the day, I think that sales is definitely a language, but ultimately you need somebody that's got the sales experience, the marketing experience, the advertising experience. Like I had somebody ask me the other day, one of my coaching clients, to help them set up a Facebook ad. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I can walk you through the whole thing. Like nice. You want somebody that's going to be well-rounded in this. Now, that being said, can I help them set it up and monitor it and manage it? Sure. I can. I run ads myself all the time. Am I the expert in it? No. I'm not. So if you want like I wouldn't go and start opening up walls and start doing electrical work myself because I'm not trained in it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to hire the electrician. And so if you're going to get something that's way more specialized, then go and hire the person that's, got that specialization that can help you build that website, help you build that marketing plan, all of those things, as opposed to finding somebody that's really well-rounded. At the end of the day, I guess my point is when you're searching for a coach, and you should be, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a real estate salesperson, you should absolutely have a coach. When you're searching for that person, make sure that you're asking the right questions.
Oh my God. Yes. And that's why I feel like too, the right coach should also help with asking the right questions from the other perspective, from the perspective of like, okay, what do you want from this business? Like what like you want to make a certain amount of money? Do you philanthropy, traveling? Do you want to start a family? Like what's the purpose here? Right. And I love the fact that like a coach, for me, I was reading something and it talked about like being intentional. Right? Like if you have a business, you got to be intentional. And if you have a coach, the coach helps you stay intentional in that segment of time to focus on your goals, your aspirations. What are you doing? What are you not doing? What could you be doing to then have more success? So from the perspective of, let's go into calls. So you have calls, coaching clients you're talking to. What are some common things that come up for you from the perspective of coaching? Is it that like they need a specific plan of action? Is it more of like a mindset thing and they're just kind of overanalyzing a little bit? Right. Is it that they need the Facebook ads and specific technical help? What do you see? What comes up?
Yeah, no, great question. I'll answer that in just a second. You actually mentioned something. I'm not sure. I can't remember if we talked about it in the first pod that we did, but I'll take you back to the very first coaching call that I ever had in my real estate career.
Okay.
And I had started a team, and I get on the call. I'd hired a coach. I went down to a conference in South Carolina, and it was a boomtown conference. And so I'm there, and every top producing real estate team leader had a coach. And, some of them had Buffini, some of them had Ferry, some of them had, Jared James, whatever. Everybody had a coach. And so I was like, okay, so I come home. I'm like, okay, I need to hire a coach. Go talk to my wife. I'm like, I need this. Like, I need to find somebody. She's like, okay, go find someone. So I go and I find this Canadian company. And the first coaching call, the coach asked me, why do you have this real estate team? Why did you start it? And my answer was, it wasn't verbatim, but this is kind of like the answer that I gave. I want to be able to leverage other people so that I can make more money. And she said, that's the wrong answer. And when you figure out the right answer, call me back. That was our first call.
I love it.
I was like, okay, I just gave you $1,000. What are you talking about?
Talk about asking the right question.
Right. Call me back. When you figure it out, call me back. What I needed to hear was, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That isn't the reason why you should be starting a real estate team. Go figure it out and come back and tell me what you figured out, and then let's talk about it. Like, that's what she was saying. And so it took me about 2 weeks, and I called her. I sent her a message. I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready to go. She's like, okay, let's get on a call. So I get on the call. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that this business is better off for having me in it and having agents come into my team. I want them better when they leave than when they first came in. And the only way that I'm going to be able to turn this, this very idealistic, way of this frame of thinking of, turning this industry for the better, making it better from the inside out, is to train agents the right way on how to actually run a sustainable real estate business.
Got it.
So that was the whole idea. And she's like, okay, you're definitely on the right track. Now let's talk.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the types of content, the stuff that I cover. Yeah, I've got one coaching client. It's all systems. That's all we do. That's all we talk about. It's just systems.
Interesting.
Helping him set up his systems. He's got an assistant. I'll meet with his assistant, and I won't even meet with him. Like I'll just sit down with the assistant and we'll map out, what a drip campaign is going to look like for their selling clients, what it's going to look like for their buying clients. I'll help them jump into their CRM and set things up and show them how to do this, that. So it's very tactical that way. I've got another client. This guy, actually, I love this guy. He's an amazing dude. He was drafted by the Green Bay Packers in 1978 in the 272nd round as a quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and he
cool.
I think he played professionally. So he went to the Packers. I think he wound up on the practice squad. And then he got traded to, I think he spent some time in Cleveland and he spent some time in Miami. But they switched him from, when he went to Cleveland, they switched him from a quarterback to a defensive back, a DB. So then he wound up in Miami, and I think that's basically where his career ended. But great dude. He's got 6 offices throughout Southern California. And, he's running up against some massive competition out there, and there's companies springing up all over the place. And so with him, it's more about from the recruitment side and, adding value to the agents that he already has. And, our last call, he lost a couple of agents. And so we were talking about mindset, and, I asked, listen, are you in touch with God? Like, do you pray? Like, is this something that is important to you? And, I won't tell you what his answer was, because I think that's private. But at the end of the day, like, I want every call that I have with my coaching clients now, I want to bring something spiritual to the call.
Ooh.
Because this is an awakening that I've had in my life in the last little while. And so I really see the benefits of it, and, finding solace and grace and gratitude in scripture, and how to really kind of guide your life through scripture and through the Bible. I want to be able to have those conversations with my clients on a very real basis.
I love that. No, 100%. I think that's so important because, it's so deep from the perspective of, life happens for you too. You happens for you for a reason. There's a lesson in everything.
Right.
It's less about the money. It's more about the journey. It's the people that you impact. It's
right.
It's how you help them scale so they have time for their family. There's so much more to it. And that's why I really kicked off this podcast, because I like the real estate technology side, but then I've had some individuals on this show because, I love, Jesus, God, Bible, whatever religion you're in. And then I like to get into other esoteric or other type of teachings, just to open my eyes up and my mind to just like, what do you believe and why?
Sure.
Because I don't know everything. Yeah. And I know that I can't just say I'm right, because I only know so much. I've only been here for so long. I haven't done a lot of studies in every different types of religion and background and how it works. And so that's where it's just like, I love being able to explore. We've had some really cool, interesting people on this show that get into different types of practices. And some may say it's woo-woo and it's a little out there, but hey, sometimes you got to go out there a little bit just to say, well, I don't know if it's for me, or maybe it's for you. I don't know.
Right.
That's why we have a little alien dude, because, is aliens real? I don't know. But hey, he's cute. He's a cool blue hat, Yeah. But no, that's cool you asked that question and you went a little bit deeper, because I think that it's, I like to look at it from the terms of alignment. And like, are you in alignment, and what does that alignment look like?
Right.
And when I first started getting in business, I was way more into the glitz, the glam, and I'm extra. I've walked you around the house. We'll have some fun, take a drive, maybe in the GTR later if your wife gives us some time. And I just like it because it's fun. I don't need the extra stuff. I can be a minimalistic. My partner, he's the opposite of me. He doesn't have all the bling.
Right.
I like that. But is it in alignment? And for me, I look at it as a tool to be able to either go to a car show, inspire someone who's young. I've had people 18, 19 years old hitting almost $1 million a year, sitting in that seat right there here in Arizona, because of the car industry. And they saw my GTR and we're at a show, and then they were on the freeway, and, he has a hat company.
Right.
Shout out to Malik. He just had a birthday. You can go ahead and watch his show as well. So I love that. I love that. So when you hit him with that, obviously you can only say so much for privacy, but when you hit him with that, did it resonate with him? Was he like, oh?
I think it definitely came from left field.
Okay.
Him, right. I've always been a kind of a spiritual guy quietly.
Okay.
Inside. And
I love it.
I think my son is kind of going down that same path as well. And I hope that he's able to kind of reverse course. I hope he doesn't go down the same path that I did. I hope it doesn't take him as long to be not preachy about it, be open about it.
Yeah.
Be cool with it. Right.
Yeah.
And so with him, I think it kind of hit him from left field. Years ago, my parents were actually baptized Catholic.
Okay.
And the whole reason, and my sister as well, I was the only one that didn't get baptized, which was weird because I was the one that kicked the whole thing off. I'd actually asked, so I remember, this is years and years and years ago. My friend Nathan Chesworth, he took me to Sunday school.
Okay,
and it was the Pentecostal Tabernacle Church in Prince George.
What a name!
Yeah, and so we go to Sunday school, and it was I think it was like 8 or 9, maybe 10 years old, something like that. And I can't remember all of the goings on of the Sunday school, but I remember I came home and I was my mom asked me, how did it go? They come and pick you up in a bus and they take you over and you do your thing. And so my mom asked me, like, how did it go? Did you have fun? Yada, yada, yada. And so I said, yeah, well, they said Ravine was of the devil. And so there was this guy on TV. He was a hypnotist. Okay. And he would help people quit smoking. Oh. And he would do these commercials. Yeah. Okay? And it was like, Ravine, come to the hypnotize show and, learn to quit smoking. And so he'd do like 5 or 6 shows in Prince George, like every single year. And interesting. And so, I came home and I go, Ravine is of the devil. And my mom was like, okay, that's it. You're not going back there. That's crazy. So it was like, that was kind of like how religion was kind of in my household up until this point where we're sitting at dinner. I think it was like 12 or 13 now, and I'd ask them, like, hey, mom and dad, how come we never got baptized? Yeah. And they didn't really have an answer for that. But it was shortly thereafter they both started, picked up the Bible and started reading and started going to church. And then they would drag us to Catholic church. And it was all this, standing up and sitting down and standing up and sitting down. That's all I remember from Catholic church. And then, my sister wound up going to a Catholic high school. And so she got baptized. My parents were baptized at a later age. And so, for the longest time, I just, I kept quiet about it for whatever reason. And so it's just, like I said, it's been an awakening in me, and something has really started to lift this out of me. Wow. And so it's been really cool to start to explore it and read the Bible. I've got the Bible app on my phone. And so I read the Bible every morning. That's part of, my 10 or 5 daily non-negotiables now, is where I read a book, 10 pages of a book every single day. And the book that I choose to read is the Bible. Right? There you go. Dude. So, no, it's that's awesome. Yeah, it's been great. Heck yeah. No, it's cool. I think that I try to read it front to back. It's too hard. I feel like it's because parables, and then I saw something about they did the Bible, but like in like a picture format. So that way you can just like visually have an understanding of like how things kind of worked and what they did and what have you. And I think it's all, under personal interpretation. I think that there's no specific right or specific wrong. Looking at all the different religions, there's like a common denominator, like, come from love thy neighbor. There's certain things that I think that are just a no-brainer. Right. And it's just like, I don't know, it makes it feels right to think that there's more than just this. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like there can't be, it's like, oh, this is it, huh? I was just done after here. Right. Yeah, that's it. Like, what? And what? We're just in the darkness now? I help some people and make some money and all right, had a family and bye. Yeah. Yeah, no, and I know for a fact it's not like that. Yeah. My mom passed away in February. Oh. And she got diagnosed with cancer in September of 2024. And so she made it about 5 months. And God bless. Thank you. I remember I walked into her bedroom, and at this point she just wasn't doing very well. And she was laying there, and she didn't see me, but I could hear. I went to the washroom, and the restroom, bathroom, whatever you guys call it.
You're good.
So I go to the bathroom and I come out and I hear, this talking going on in my parents' room. And so I crack the door and I'm looking in, and she's having a conversation with somebody in the room, but nobody was in the room.
Interesting.
And she was lucid. She was having this conversation, and it was a back and forth.
Wow.
And I walked in there and I interrupted it, and she kind of snapped out of it. She looked at me, and we had this it was a very lucid conversation.
Wow.
She was all there. My mom had dementia.
Wow.
She was all there. And it was, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Wow. In fact, I didn't, when I left and went home, because my parents didn't live like where we live in Colona.
Yeah.
I got home and I'm talking to my wife about this, and I was like, I'm absolutely convinced that she was there talking to her sister and to her mother.
Wow.
Who had passed before.
Wow, you could feel that. Holy cow. Like she was like having that conversation before.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah. So there's no doubt in my mind. I had another experience. And this is going back to when I had just first moved to Alberta from Prince George. So I moved to Edmonton, and I worked at a Dufferin games room. I was selling pool tables. Okay. And I decided to get out of that career, that job or whatever. It wasn't a career, but I decided
pool tables.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to pool table sellers.
There you go.
There you go.
Get one today.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
Exactly. So I go and I apply for this this course to help me learn how to weld.
Okay.
And so I do that whole thing, go through the first year apprenticeship, do that whole thing. I wound up with a job out in this oil field town called Nisku. It's just south of Edmonton.
Okay.
And it was literally my first day on the job. And I was staying at my cousin's place because I'd been evicted from my apartment because I couldn't pay the rent. And because taking this course, you could not work. I had to do it through employment insurance. And so if I worked, the funding would go away.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So I couldn't pay the rent where I was at. My cousin took me in. I was sharing a room with her daughter. I was sleeping on the floor, and I heard this voice. The voice was just a whisper, and it was, "Kelley, get up." And it was my cousin, who I was staying with, had a sister.
Okay.
And her sister passed away from ALS 4 years prior to that.
Interesting.
And it was her voice.
Whoa.
That woke me up.
Wow.
And had she not woke me up, I would have slept in for my first day on the job.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's just no question in my mind.
Yeah.
That there is something else out there.
Dude, there really is. There really is. And for me, I think probably, I don't know, for viewers and listeners out there, ever since I think after COVID, I feel like after COVID, people started to wake up a little bit. And I think just being more aware that there's something more than just this physical existence that we live in and these cars that we drive and, TV or phone you're watching this show on. There's something else. And so that's where I kind of got into a little bit more of okay, I want to understand different things. And there's a coach, speaking of coaches, Aaron Doty. And Aaron Doty, he used to sell shoes at Nordstrom's, just blue collar worker, family or blue collar workers, no big deal. Was always subject to narcissism in his life. And he got to a point where he wanted to break out of that. And then now he just started on YouTube, got a channel going, and started talking about all the spiritual practices and different techniques in the coaching space. So, it's a little bit more metaphysical outside of the physical or your traditional kind of conversations when it comes to coaching, whether it's business planning and a lot of stuff that you specialize in. Right. And he's had a lot of success. I went to one of his events, and when I went to one of his events, he has different segments and different peoples, as you would know, different keynote speakers. And one of them, have you heard of the term past life regression?
No.
So it's a whole thing where you could basically tap in, they put you into a hypnosis.
Okay.
And you get into hypnosis, and it's just meditating. And they basically want to see if they can walk you through a time where you can remember past life, if you believe in reincarnation or anything like that. So basically it has to do with reincarnation. If you believe that, and that's something that you're into or not. But this is what they went through. They said, okay, take a deep breath, blah, blah, walk you through it. Next, I'm in this dream, and I'm like, what? So this is like an online virtual event. So I'm like watching it on the TV, my wife, my brother-in-law and I, and it's like a weekend event, all weekend.
Okay.
And he brings his partner in, and this is what all he does. He specializes in getting you into trance or into like a meditative state and walking you through one of your past lives. And I'm like, I had a past life? I have no idea. What are you talking about? So next, this is the craziest story. So next, I wake up and I'm just like, it's like during horse and carriage and buggy time. This is when there's like outlaws and that type of stuff, and bank robbers and those type of guys. And so I wake up and I'm a girl. I'm like, okay, I'm a guy. What are you talking about? I'm a girl. So I'm a girl and I'm like in this field, and then like I see this like small cottage, and this is house is here, cottage right here. Blonde, blue eyes, female. I walk in the house. I'm pregnant, and then I have a housemate. She's African American, and then I'm about to give birth, and I'm like, this is all happening so quick. I'm about to give birth. I'm a female. I'm like, what is going on here? And then next, the guy comes in this dream that I'm having, and he's an outlaw. I'm like married to this outlaw old dude, and he just got back from a heist or whatever he was doing. And I'm giving birth. And next, I give birth, and he's wanted for whatever he's done.
Yeah.
It's an African-American baby. Apparently, I cheated on him.
Oh, boy.
This is a crazy story, dude. I cheated. It's like a movie, dude. I swear to God. I'm like, I can't believe this all came up for me. I give birth, African-American baby. I cheat on him because I don't love him. And I love the housemate's brother, because we're in our 20s. This guy's like in his like late 30s, maybe early 40s. He's very, rough, outlaw, whatever. And fucking he slits my throat, kills me, and kills the baby because I fucking cheated on him. This is what comes up for me during this past life aggression. Dude, crazy story.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. And so it's interesting because I thought nothing of it, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was probably like 7, 8, 9, 10, around 5th grade. This is back in California. This is in Pleasanton. I'm with my friend, peppermint like Patty, little latte chair. And I'm sucking on that. I'm with a friend. We're walking home. We always would walk home. And true story, my aunt, who I used to live with during this time, is here right now. Yeah. We're going to have dinner later tonight. So I'm walking and we're laughing, and I swallow that shit in my throat. I'm choking. Yeah. And my friend doesn't know. He thinks I'm laughing. I'm like, and I finally get it out. And to this day, I kind of have a little bit of issues with this throat thing. So, if you're into this, or you guys are into this, go watch Anna's podcast. She sat there. Okay. She is crazy. She is a chiropractor that doesn't touch you.
Okay. What?
That's what I said. She doesn't touch you. She's a chiropractor, and she can actually help heal your body by basically, I don't know. It's not like there's something called Reiki.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's like something like Reiki. She can crack you and do traditional stuff, but it's more of a spiritual side. So I actually just had a coaching session, and she's not cheap. I spent like $350 for 45 minutes coaching session.
Wow.
To then have her do more of a spiritual reading on me. This is outside of your traditional stuff, y'all. Just disclaimer. This is not traditional. This is not in the Bible. This is not in your traditional shit. This is how kind of like I'm just curious. I'm exploring, right? Yeah. So I spent $350 for 45 minutes. Right. And so she actually on Tuesday, because I was feeling a little off, she walked me through, and she knew about not just that story, but she walked me through 3 other lifetimes. I shit you not. She told me I used to be this guy who used to sit next to the king, and I was a whistleblower back in like a long time ago, like a couple hundred years ago. And I was a whistleblower, and I was looking to serve my people, and I was serving the king to serve my people. And what she told me is that when I was going through this process, I was apparently the king, I was poisoning him little by little so he would pass on, because he was hurting my people. Right. But I was also a whistleblower, and I was stuck in the middle in this hard place. Right. And I had a best friend, and they say keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Right. Apparently he was an enemy acting as a friend, knew I was doing this to the king, and as soon as the king died, he slit my throat. Whoa. So this gets crazier. So listen to this. There's something that she says, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, you can watch her episode. It's called Entanglement from a soul perspective. So if you believe in having a soul, they say that there could be soul entanglement. And she said that when I went through this $350, 45-minute coaching session. She said, when that happened with the king, and then I was now in this life. So what happened was in this life, just to kind of bring it all together, I was 7 years old eating Mexican food with my grandfather, and he was having heartburn. So my mom went to go get heartburn medication, and he had a massive heart attack in front of my face.
Oh my God.
This is this life.
Yeah.
This is my aunt who's coming over tonight. That's her father, my grandfather. So that happens. And then I also, when I was probably just out of high school, I was 18, 19, I got shot in the face with a BB gun. I have the BBs right here with the Chevy bow tie. I'm a Chevy guy.
Oh, okay.
And he was me to like that plant. He's like, I feel like I got a lot of power. I have a gun in my hand, have even more power when I squeeze the gun, CO2 powered handgun, a little BB. And he shot me in the face, instantly in the eye, right? Homeowners insurance, got some money at 18. Yeah. Everything worked out fine. And so to tie all together, she says in this coaching session that the king was my grandfather who had a massive heart attack in front of my face. The best friend who shot me in the face was the same guy who killed me when I killed the king, because I had all these contracts and I was entangled in these past lives and current life. And I was entangled because of these things that happened with instant karma, and me and this being or whatever, like soul, was entangled. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is heavy.
Dude, extremely heavy, man. Yeah. Extremely heavy. So she went through this whole thing, and we did a little like prayer and just this and that. And she's like, you can have, I guess there's spirit animals you can have. Growing up, I had a pit bull. My mom had him and took care of me, and he was always there next to me. I had a rough upbringing. My father was in and out of drugs. My mom was out partying. Father's not in my life. Like, I'm the first entrepreneur to be doing what I'm doing. Cycle breaker in my family. Right. Very grateful. Now I could be the father that I never had to my daughter. Right. And so, with all that being said, it's, I've just been a little bit more open because I've been through a lot of shit. And so she brought that all together for me. And now thinking about it, I was like, whoa, well, I've been having this throat thing. Yeah. Ironically. And so now I want to go deeper in this kind of philosophy, because I can only imagine, well, if that is even possible, if she is onto something, could I potentially say, well, if I'm already having issues with swallowing, I eat really slow already, I have this subconscious thing going on. Yeah, maybe because I was younger and I had the peppermint patty and this and that happened. But the fact that my grandfather had a massive heart attack on my face and she brought that in, like I got shot in the face and that was brought in. So interesting.
Yeah. So she knew about all of the other stuff though with the BB, and you told her all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because she started off with asking me questions. Right. So she started asking all these questions. And as she was asking all these questions, and she went into like a meditative, close your eyes kind of state. And then she called in angels. She like literally like Michael and all these angels to come in, like people from the Bible. And like literally was just like, I need your help. And then she like gave me like bull that used to take care of me as a spirit animal. And then she gave me a wolf on this last time. And I'll just be 100% transparent. Like I like to smoke every so often, I have a little pen, just weed, whatever. And she's like, honestly, apparently, and this gets even heavier, she's like, you had 3 entities that were trying to latch on, because I was getting these weird kind of like thoughts. I'm like, what are these thoughts coming from? And she's like, you need to stop smoking for 2 months, because it's like heroin for them, and they will attach to you if you smoke, and it causes all these other issues. I'm like, what? Crazy, dude.
Do you ever watch the Sean Ryan podcast?
No.
The Sean Ryan show?
No.
So he's a former tier 1 operator, SEAL guy, team guy. He's got this amazing podcast now. He's got just a multitude of guests. I think he's around 250 episodes in now.
Wow.
I think I found him at around, he was still in his attic in his house. I think he was like episode 30.
Wow.
And I've been watching him ever since. And the guy he's just gotten better and better and better. Anyways, he had interviewed this lady that was she was like a spiritual reader of some kind. And she absolutely would not talk about the Bible.
Wow.
Would not talk about the Bible.
Interesting.
And he asked her a couple of questions. One of the questions I think was like, do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in hell? Yes. Do you want to talk about the Bible? And she's like, no. She wouldn't even say no. She just shook her head.
Wow.
It was a spot she didn't even want to go in. And I think probably because she's seen some shit that has probably scared her to Jesus. Like, so there was that. And then he had on another guy that I can't remember what happened to him. It might have been a near-death experience of some kind that wound up leaving him with this ability to kind of see the other side.
I hear that shit happens all the time.
Right.
People die, come back, and they have like a sixth sense or some shit.
Yeah. And so he's sitting across so it's like, their chairs are like facing each other. And he says to Sean Ryan, he says, you've got this darkness to you. He'll say with a lot of people, he'll see like a purple aura.
Yeah.
Right? And the way that he describes it is that people with a purple aura are in touch with God. And so it's like, some people have this aura, and the people that have this aura, like they're obviously in touch with God. They're spiritual. They believe in the Bible. They believe in Jesus. They've accepted Jesus in their heart, all this stuff. And he's like, you've got this darkness about you. And he's like, you've got these beings. And this is why I bring this up. He's like, you've got these beings that are like, they're latched onto you. So then with all of this is where the skeptic comes out of me, because I'm still skeptical with some of this stuff.
Which is good.
Yeah. And I think you've got to question all of it. I'm like, okay, well, if there really are past lives, like how deep are we going? Like, are we going past recorded history? Like, are we going past the Bible? And like, how far back can they see?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's something to be said about karma. There's something to be said about like a soul. There's something to be said about, learning things. We're here to learn shit. And so, I mean, it's all contrast, whether you're in 2025 or 1900, 1800, I don't know. All I know is that like I'm at the beginning stages, and I've had some guests on. There was one that I just had, the most recent one that just had, podcast 37. Y'all can check it out. And it was like the mood ring, but she actually had like, you put your hand on the device, and I did it actually in the show, and it shows your aura around you. And so it shows you your aura, and she gave me a reading, and she told me what it meant. She said her husband's never changed, always been the same forever, ever since she's tested him. Mine changed. And so for me, it's like, I look at like our life right now as a game. It's just I just want to have fun.
Right.
So it's like, from serving an industry, making money, traveling, whatever, I just want to have fun. And I feel like if I can explore this, it to me seems right outside of the Bible. Of course, is amazing. Mm-hmm. The scripture, what you believe is amazing. And why not just explore a little bit more? I mean, I don't know technically who wrote it. I don't know exactly if there's anything taken out of it, if everything was left in it. I don't know. And they say that, so there's the law of the universe. There's Abraham Hicks. If you know Abraham Hicks, she's huge in this space.
Okay.
There's Paul Selig, I am word. That's what I have tatted here. So I am is like two of the most powerful words. Like I am rich. I am whatever you want to say. So I say I am word with the heart. So I am love. He has like 7 series books, Paul Selig, really cool books. Maybe you'd be into it, but it's all channeled text. So hearsay is the Bible was channeled by people that channeled angels and spiritual practitioners and metaphysical beings, from my understanding, outside of just a physical being.
Right.
And then who knows, kings and queens, and over the years, and powers that be likes to control us. You see it in the fucking government. You see it with the laws and everything else. So that's where it's kind of like, I just take it and just leave it and just, keep on keeping on. So,
and, you can definitely, I think there are people that are way more skeptical than me, non-believers, I think you probably call them, that would say, well, this Bible, this book was created, to control us, right? It was created by governments to control us. It was created okay, which government created it then? Was it the Romans?
I don't know.
The Romans created it to control us, and how are they using it to control us? Like they want us to love each other.
That's true. How many times, like, love is like the number one word I think that's in the book.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think the only thing from a controlling standpoint that comes up for me is God will provide, and you only need enough.
Sure.
I think I can, because like my mother, my wife's mother, Gloria, she is very much, and if you're listening, I love you. Hi. She's very much religious, which is totally fine. She does believe God will provide. And with all due respect, if you're watching, she just doesn't get enough opinions. And then she finds herself paying payments on whatever it is, solar, AC units, whatever the case may be. And it's always that she just has enough.
Right.
And for me, I don't want just enough. After the show, I'm going to look at some supercar parts. I want to have fun. Right. I want to enjoy my life. You know what I'm saying? The kids are coming over for the holidays. I bought some really cool. There's one up there too, little RC cars, and they're drifters. Right. I'm going to set up a drift track inside the freaking garage for Thanksgiving, and the guys are going to get together and drift some cars. Like, I just, I want to have fun. I don't want to have to paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to have to think about paying the freaking next bill. It's whatever. Yeah. So I could see maybe from that perspective. I haven't really, from like the controlling side. But I do know that we've had a lot of people out here at LDS, and I know the LDS community, with all due respect, if you're LDS, hey, God bless. I just feel that it's a little bit more interesting from the perspective that they can't drink hot beverages. They don't talk about entrepreneur as much. Just working your job, your 9 to 5. We have a family down the street that's not exactly as open as we wish they would be, because their kids are my daughter's age. We brought them bread, we brought them tea, we welcomed to the neighborhood, and totally fine. Yeah, it is what it is. So I could see a little bit of control from that perspective, but I don't know.
Well, I think there's certain religions that take the book and they bastardize it. Yeah. Right. And like, Mormonism, we had a couple of friends that were Mormons, and I remember the first time they came over to our house, well, not the first time they came over, but they came over to our house one night, and they're like, listen, last night we sat down, we had a bath together, and we opened a bottle of wine. Now, this is a lady that, she was in my wife's cohort when she was doing her psychology degree, and they would go and they would go off to their class. They would go into their classes like a couple times a week. Yeah, and my wife would stop at Starbucks and grab a coffee, and this person would never get anything to drink because the church doesn't allow you to have caffeine. Right? Never drink soda, never drink coffee, never drink tea, any of that kind of stuff. Nothing that's got caffeine in it. Got it. And this one night they come over and they're like, yeah, so what do you guys got to drink? I'm like, what are you talking about? I got water in the fridge if you want it. He's like, no, what's in your liquor cabinet? What? So I'm like, what are you talking about? So they tell us the story. Yeah, we cracked a bottle of wine last night. We're leaving the church. Whoa. So I'm like, holy shit. So I open up the cabinet, and I got a pretty robust liquor cabinet. So I start pulling stuff out. I'm like, well, take a shot of this and try that. Here's Colona, and this is whiskey, and this is bourbon, and try all this stuff. And virgin. Yeah. By the time he left, he was wobbling. He was swaying. He wound up hitting the side of the house as he's trying to walk home. God. It was pretty funny. But, so we talked with them a lot about that religion. And again, I'm not going to slag anybody, but I think that there are a lot of religions in the world that are based off of this book that have, taken the teachings of the book and really bastardized it to have a certain level of control. Yeah. Right. A control over a people. And, there's multiple religions out there that are exactly like that. Yeah, 100%. And that's where I feel like, free will, enjoy your life, love thy neighbor, come from love, be respectful. I love opening on my house. The podcast is here because it's more of a personal vibe. Right. Eventually, I want to do like a warehouse storage car collective type of thing, which would be really cool. That's my next level goal. Right. So keep watching, like, subscribe. But that'll happen over time. And and I opened up to you. I felt comfortable to. I don't always like go into those type of stories or talk about that type of thing unless I feel like maybe the other person's maybe ready or willing to kind of hear that, just because I think that there's something to be said outside of just common language. Right. Some things are it's just a feeling, and so when I went through the practice with Anna, it was more of a feeling that I got. And I just came from the perspective of I was feeling off. Things were coming in that just didn't feel like me. And I wanted some answers. And I wasn't going to go to the traditional doctor. Right. And I wasn't going to go see a therapist, because I know that I'm a good person, and I don't feel like I was like going crazy or anything drastic. It was just like, I got some thoughts. They're not positive thoughts. They seem more like a demonic kind of thought process. It wasn't like, what if I did this? It was like, do this or do that. And I'm like, what? Like, I would never. What the fuck's this?
So I hit up Anna. I said, hey, it was interesting. Speaking of channeled text, I have a book, and I don't know if I have it here or over there, but I basically was reading. I don't have it here. I think it's over there. I was reading a book, and so there's another one I just got done called "The Universe Has Your Back," and it talks about how you could do channeled writing. So I was like, so you know how they say the flow state, whether you're an athlete or whatever, you're in the flow state, or you're coaching, and how sometimes I remember I would have conversations or meetings. I don't know if you've ever had this happen before. You're having a meeting, you're talking to someone, and you're flowing so good and saying things where you're like, was that even me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I finished coaching calls like that.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like, and they talk about that. I don't know if it was Think and Grow Rich or whatever else. It was a book I remember reading where the guy would go into a room. I don't know if you remember this. There's a guy who went into a room and he would go pitch black and he would just imagine talking to Jefferson and Thomas Edison and all these people and just imagining like picking their brain. What would they say? All that type of stuff. So it ties into a little bit more of like the channeled text. So I could, for example, I did this on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday, took 3 deep breaths. And I said, okay, what do you have for me? And what do I need to know from like my highest self? Angels guide me, Jesus guide me. And so I just started writing. And it said that like, reach out to Anna. It like, I literally was guided to do that. And the fact that she was on the podcast, she was referred to me by another guest we had. She's up in Sedona.
Okay.
And so I did, and she's just loving, kind. She's an amazing woman, and she was so open to talk to me. And so next day we scheduled the appointment, and then she's like, "Here's my range. It's 260 up to 480.
Right.
Whatever you feel called to pay me." So I paid her 333. I don't know if you see angel numbers, patterns,
right?
Feathers. Those are like signs from they say the angels above or whatever.
Right.
And so I was guided to do it. It felt right. I met her. It felt right.
Yeah.
That's what came up for me. My wife was super supportive about it. So she was just like, that's, that's what she said. I understand. Like,
have you ever seen that Tim Tebow interview?
No.
So I can't remember who was interviewing, but he was talking about, you remember Tebow used to play for the Broncos, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So Tim Tebow, he was a quarterback of the UF Gators.
Okay.
And won a national championship with them. And he actually played with Aaron Hernandez. So Hernandez was the tight end of that team that they won the national championship.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't remember. Did he play with Gronkowski? It doesn't matter. Anyway, so he's a quarterback of the Denver Broncos, and love him or hate him. I mean, I think he's a man of faith, a man of God, and he believes in what he believes in.
Yeah.
And he was the first guy in the NFL in history to wear the eye black or the eye tape.
Really?
To have not the eye tape, but to actually have a message on the eye tape.
Ooh, I like that.
And so he wrote John 3:16. Okay, so he had John 3:16, and so he would wear these. It wasn't the black. It was like the eye black tape.
Okay.
So he wrote it on in white marker, and so they're in the playoffs. And I think it was one of the only times that the Broncos went to the playoffs with Tim Tebow as a quarterback. And so they're playing, and they finish the game, and one of their equipment guys comes out, or assistant coaches comes up to Tebow, and he's like, do you know what happened? And Tebow's like, yeah, we won the game. I know what happened. Yeah, it was a great game. He's like, no. Do you know what happened? He's like, no, why don't you tell me? He goes, you finished the game with 316 yards.
Wow.
He's like, oh, okay. All right. That's awesome. Yeah. Your yards per rush this game were 3.16.
Whoa.
Yeah. There was another stat. It was like it wasn't his passer rating. It was he ran for, so your average rushing yards was 3.16 per carry. You ran for 31.6 yards.
Wow.
Like there were like 5 or 6 different, or 6 or 7 different spots where this 316 showed up in his stats.
Whoa.
Yeah. So again, tell me that there isn't something else out there.
Dude, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great interview.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that the number one thing that I've learned is just slow down.
Yeah.
Once you slow down, you realize, because what I feel like happens is that if you don't slow down, then guess what? God's going to make you slow down.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the illness or sickness or something comes up and it makes you be like, whoa, hold on. What am I committed to here? What am I missing here? What am I not doing that I should be doing?
Right.
And then when him having it there and then you're seeing it, it's like over and over. It's almost like angels are like, hello.
Yeah.
Jesus is like, hello.
Right.
Do you see it now?
Right. And it's not like he needed to see it, but I think what happened is that he put it there so that Tebow could evangelize this. He could talk about it.
Yeah.
People will listen to it and they'll go, holy shit.
Amen.
How did that happen? Like there's 6 or 7 different spots in your stats that show 316. Like how?
Wow.
Yeah. So he's using it for good. And so
that is such an amazing story. Good for him. I love that story. The universe has your back talks about that as well. It talks about when you see, like I'll see signs like feathers or I'll see signs like numbers. Mine are like sevens, whether it's 777, 717, what have you. I pick up the phone. Okay.
Why sevens?
333. It's even on. This is actually I sponsored this team on the back. It's team. It's a softball team. It says Mr. Liftoff with a 7 in the back as well. Yeah. Sevens. I don't know. I just started seeing a pattern of sevens, and for some reason, it just kept coming up for me. I'm trying to think the catalyst of when it was the first time that I actually can like think about when that was like, oh, rubber meets the road. That's what I can really like remember. But I think it was just seeing the numbers in like a sequence, and then I kept seeing them, and then for some reason it just felt right. Like for some reason, like the number 7.
Kind of like when you want that vehicle, and all of a sudden you start to see that vehicle everywhere on the road. You spotted the pattern, and then you actually recognized that it was a pattern.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, this isn't the first time I've seen this.
Yes.
I've seen this multiple times before.
Yes.
So then you were prompted to go, what does this actually mean?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Like, give you an example. I was watching a YouTube video yesterday with a gal, and there's this different YouTube channels that I follow. This YouTube channel, I don't know her personally, anything like that, and she was talking about something around like 111, something's going to happen to you. Actually, there's going to be 2 gifts that happen to you around 11:11. And so the lady, I watched it yesterday during a lunch break. So it's Soma Chiha. So it's basically, this is her here. And so I don't know if the team could zoom in on that, but she was just like, it's like, this video will find you 24 hours before it happens. And she's like, going to get 2 gifts. And so I didn't think of anything of it. And it was this morning, 10 o'clock. The meeting went until about 11 because I had to meet my partner at 11. And then right after that, then that's when you came over, and then you left, came back. Here we are now. So I met not 1, but 2 agents. And so I thought I was having a strategy call with just 1 agent. Next thing you know, it's 2 agents.
Right.
I'm like, okay. And we're going back and forth and this and that. They're on the same team. And they're like, no, we want to get 2 sites. Interesting. And yesterday she's like, you're going to have a gift. And it's going to be 2 gifts.
Right.
Something that you've been wanting. I'm like, well, I want to bring in another 127 agents.
Right.
Now I get 2 for 1. What?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. They didn't sign up directly today, but after our podcast, I'm gonna send them a recap, what have you. And the next Saturday, I'm just making a note, give them a call in the morning or whatever. But it sounds like they're just working on VA, some system stuff in the back end, and then boom, that's 2 in 1. So it's little things like that also kind of makes me feel like spices it up a little bit.
Right.
It makes it more fun.
Oh, for sure.
When you see stuff like that, you're like, oh.
If you ever listen to Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi,
yes,
they talk a lot about pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And, Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He says, life is a series of patterns.
Yeah.
And the people that are the most successful have been able to not only spot the patterns, but able to break them down, decipher them, and either follow them or go in between them.
Yes.
Right. And so that's a big thing, is being able to recognize what the patterns are in life. And so, you talk about house hacking, like this stuff that you've been able to do with your property to maximize its value and, monthly revenue streams and that sort of thing. And that is a pattern. There are people that, from a real estate investment perspective that utilize that same sort of strategy. And there are people that are super successful with investing in real estate they've all kind of utilized the same pattern. They're all hacking. You call it hacking, whatever. I mean, people there's a guy in Montreal. He was the first person I'd ever heard that had done this. It was a Airbnb arbitrage. I don't know, maybe you've heard of this.
Yeah.
He had something like 52 properties and he didn't own one of them.
Amazing.
Yeah. He rented all of these properties and then, and he was Airbnb them and he was making like 6 figures a month. It was a total arbitrage. Like but it was a pattern that he recognized that not a lot of other people have recognized. And now other people are attempting to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
I know people in Calgary that are doing the same thing. Like this girl during COVID, she had rented out 2 places in downtown Calgary and with the full intention of having them as Airbnbs. And she's like, oh my God, the world just shut down. The province just shut down. The country, like people aren't traveling into, you can't travel intra-provincially. But what was happening was people were leaving Edmonton and coming to Calgary and spending time there. And so she was actually able to grow that arbitrage during COVID because she was able to find the right customers. So anyways, she recognized, she saw the pattern, she emulated it. And so it could be that you're emulating the pattern. It could be that you're walking through it, like getting in between it or whatever. It's pattern recognition. If you can spot the pattern of success, you've got to look at being able to emulate that. Like, a lot of people say, well, fake it till you make it. Well, what are you faking? What are you faking?
You just are.
You're faking success.
Yeah. Like
instead of looking at it like you're faking something, how about you emulate what other people are doing that are more successful than you? Don't fake it. Get to fucking know it.
Yeah.
Understand if you want to do what somebody else is doing what you already want to do, and they're super successful with it. Break it down, figure out the pattern, study it, understand it, and then go duplicate it.
Boom. Exactly. And then they talk about already feel it like they would feel it. How do they feel? How do they walk? What do they do? How do they talk? And some would say, oh, that's how you fake it till you make it. But are you really faking anything? You're just feeling as it would feel to be the person that you wish to become.
Right. I think we talked about this a little bit on the IG Live the other day, and my wife and I are having this discussion. We get into a lot of deep discussions, apparently, but
that's cool.
We're best friends. I mean,
I love it.
You talk to your best friend, right?
Yeah.
So we get into these deep discussions, and we were talking on our way home one night. She's like, because she still doesn't have a vehicle. You got to get one, honey, please.
Let's go. You find one out here in Arizona.
Drive one home this weekend.
You should. Why not?
Well, we were thinking about maybe going and having a look at one tomorrow. So,
dude, that would be freaking cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That'd be pretty rad. But I'd love to drive that thing home.
Yeah, why not?
She can fly. I'll drive it. But
done.
So we're talking about what's the driving factor between the people that are most successful and the people that want to be successful. And it was kind of a quick answer that I gave. I'm like, I think it's fear. And the fear is that the people that aren't as successful as they should be, they're afraid of making the jump. They're afraid of taking action. They're afraid of doing the thing that they need to do in order to be successful. And so then I sat with that, and I woke up the night. It actually woke me up in the morning. And I went into the office, had some coaching calls, and I was thinking about it before I jumped on the coaching call. And then I jumped on the coaching call with one of my favorite coaching clients, the former Green Bay Packer, and we just started kind of talking this through, and what we really came up with was it wasn't fear. Fear is a byproduct of the thing that you're lacking. If you want to be super successful in service industry or in the product industry, it doesn't really matter. You have to have a fervent belief in what you provide is truly going to change lives.
Amen.
It is truly going to change the marketplace. It's truly like you look at Jeff Bezos as an example. Everybody laughed at him when he was looking for investors to sell books on the internet. Everybody turned him down.
Yep.
Right? And he had this fervent belief. He didn't think for 1 second that he was going to be selling plastic fucking spoons on Amazon, but here we are.
Here we are.
Right? He thought it was just going to be books. And so he had a fervent belief. He had a trust that he knew that the consumer was going to be more than willing to purchase a book off of the internet. And so, here we are 20 years later.
Hey, I'm so grateful because I listen to all my books.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I listen to a ton of books as well. So if you have this fervent, this 1000% belief in what it is that you provide to the world or to your industry is going to change the industry for the better. If you really, truly believe in that, you get rid of the fear, you gain the confidence, right? All of these other ancillary and tertiary things that you can continue to tell yourself,
yes,
that I'm not good enough and people don't want to hear what I have to say. And it's the constant fight that we all have as entrepreneurs. It's that constant battle that we have. Well, what if nobody watches, right? What if my mom is the only one that watches me? Okay, then it's your mom is the only one that watches you.
Thanks, Mom.
Right. The thing is that not everybody is an overnight success.
No.
Right. Like I look at my coach, Dan Martell, like he was posting videos up onto YouTube for like literally the last decade. And you go back and you look at some of his first videos and they're cringy as fuck. And here we are, fast forward to today. He's got across all of his social channels, he's got over 2 million followers.
Yep.
Like his average video now is like, it's gaining like 200, 300,000 views on YouTube.
Yep.
He's created a media company.
Yep.
How did he do that? He copied what Gary Vee has been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
He actually went and met with Gary Vee and got him to break it down for him, right?
Yeah.
Tell me how you did this.
Yeah.
And Gary Vee sat down with him. He paid him to coach him. He's like, here you go. This is the playbook. Go duplicate it.
100%. And that's the thing. I feel like if you are out there listening to this right now and you truly believe that you have something to offer, to serve, to support, to help someone else,
right,
and you don't go for it, what are you doing? I mean, you're really not helping someone that needs you. And the thing is that someone that needs you may not find, like you said, Dan took so long before now everyone that found him needed him, but didn't know they needed him until he got to a point where I almost feel like the vibration was so strong.
Yeah.
It was undeniable.
Oh, 100%.
Like you could not, and I see his stuff and he has really good, his edits, his content, his YouTube channel, all that type of stuff. I mean, I got my YouTube channel for Liftoff Agent, like 215 videos now consistent last past a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. Real estate versus technology for kicking this podcast off. 550 episodes, and that podcast still hasn't picked up.
Right.
And it's been 5 years. And I met an agent 2 days ago. And at the end of the call, I said something about like the podcast. Oh yeah, I watch you all the time, man. I love your stuff. Oh, what?
There you go.
And I was like, all right, is this something you want to do today? Boom, signs up that day, done. Right. You already knew, like, and trust me.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't have enough subscribers to get monetized. I'm not making money off of brand deals, subscribers, and that type of stuff. But I'm serving based off of what I had an unwavering belief that I could be of service.
Right.
And Liftoff Agent was able to serve and support. And I did the things I needed to do to give him the confidence to say, yeah. And he actually was starting to rip off stuff that we were doing on his own. To save money.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, all right, I'm over this. I'm just going to hire the guys.
Right. Yeah. It's the DIY expert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to do it all myself. And
dude,
save the money instead of investing the money to get it done right.
Yeah. 100%.
And again, that's a poison for entrepreneurship as well, right? Like we continue to tell ourselves, well, I'm a master of all trades, but a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
Yeah.
Right. And so I can do this. I can build out a blog site. I can build out a meta ad. I can do this. I can do that. I can wire my own house. I can do my own plumbing. I can frame my own attic. Like,
of course,
of course you can do all those things, but are you going to do it like do it right?
Yes.
Are you going to do it the way that it should be?
Yes.
In order to be able to yield the results that you're looking for?
Oh my God. And also, like, you got to delegate at some point, know, because I like the build out upstairs. We went camping a week ago. And so once a quarter, I want to go and take that travel trailer. Got to use it. It's been sitting there. And I hit the fucking house again. I'm like, God dang it. I took all the dirt out, hit the fucking house again. So then my contractor hits me up, and the guy we did all our flips with, and he wants to get into fix and flip, whatever, in the mobile game. And I said, hey, let's talk. I'll give you all my knowledge. I need you to take these boards off the side of the house, and I need to go from like 6-inch to 2-inch so I can get more clearance underneath. He's like, send me some pictures. There you go.
There you go.
Free for him, free for me. I might have to buy some wood. Done deal.
Right. Well, and you go back to YouTube for just a second. Like, we were talking about when we first got here.
Yeah.
How you found this house. Like, I think my wife asked you, and you're like, YouTube. Like, how did not this house specifically, but
the area,
right? How did you move to Gilbert? And it's like YouTube, right? That guy has a fervent belief in being able to service people that are looking at making a move by giving them the most relevant information at the time.
Yes.
To help them actually strategize and make that move a lot easier.
100%.
Right. And all of the guys. And so does he have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers? Probably not.
No.
Is he monetized on YouTube? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I've never seen the guy's channel, but I can tell you that the money that I've made off of YouTube didn't come by way of brand deals and monetization. It came by way of servicing people and helping them with their real estate purchase and their real estate sale. Like that's, I mean, that's, I made, I should say this all the time. I'm like, God, I should go back to selling. It would just be like shooting fish in a freaking barrel, man. Like it really
right.
would. So, but I'm not going to, but, when I had my YouTube channel, I made like, in about a year and a half, I made about $80,000 off of that.
Nice.
760 subscribers. I don't know. I've got less than 100 videos on the channel.
Yeah.
I've got some videos that popped off 13, 14, 15,000 views.
Nice.
People were finding it and I was getting clients from it.
Wow.
And I got them in a very short amount of time. I have this story actually so we moved to Colona in 2021.
Okay.
And we didn't know anybody there. My wife, we knew a couple of people. My wife went, there was another couple that moved in about 4 doors down from us in 2022.
Okay.
And so she posted in our private Facebook group, hey, I'm going to this thing at the Kettle Valley pub. Does anybody want to join me? And so my wife chimed in and she's like, I'll come with you. She's like, I'll come and pick you up. And so she walked down, picked up my wife. They walked over it's only like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
So they walked over to the KVP and there was it was this ladies' night. And there was all these ladies there. And my wife and this neighbor of ours, they wound up meeting all a group of 5 other women.
Wow.
And next thing you know, they're all hanging out. And then the next thing you know, all husbands are getting together. And if the funny thing is that nobody was actually from Kelowna. Everybody was from 2 of them were from the US. One of them was from Ontario. One couple was from Alberta. Another one from Saskatchewan. We were scattered all over the place. And we all wound up together in this one location in Kelowna. And so anyway, so we're, now we're all kind of hanging out. We go over to Lindsay and Will's house one night for a party. I'd never met either one of these people before. Walked through the front door and Will, he's a really put together. He was a track athlete, black guy. I don't know many black people in Kelowna, and I think I know 3. And he was, and I know 3 now. And he was I didn't know any then.
Wow.
And so we walk in the door and he's like, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. He looks at me and goes, I know you.
What?
And I go, no, dude. We don't know each other. I'm pretty sure we don't know each other. I didn't tell him why, but I'm like, we don't know each other. I'm absolutely guarantee you I've never met you before.
Yeah.
He goes, no, we've met. Or I know you. Or were you on TV? I go, no, not on TV. And so we're standing there. It was super uncomfortable. It felt like an hour. It was probably only about 30 or 45 seconds. And then he looks at me, he goes, YouTube. I go, yeah. He goes, you got a channel? I said, yeah. He goes, we watch your show every week.
What? Yeah. Let's go.
It's crazy. So I'm standing there with my wife and I go like this and I'm like, I elbow her and I'm like, see, I told you this shit works. Right. She was, I got onto social media quite early. I was on social media. I was on Twitter, I think in 2007.
Yeah.
Got onto Facebook early as well. When Instagram came around, got onto Instagram fairly early as well. Been on YouTube since 2010. I remember in 2011, I'm saying my wife was kind of all over me. She's like, this social media stuff, it's such bullshit. You spend so much time on there. You can't build a business doing this. And, why are you on there yet? So it's this is the night before. So everybody's in bed. Kids are 3 years old. I'm up. It's October. I've got to do this update for real estate. We got to go through licensing every year. And so actually it was September. And so it was literally September 29th. Our RECA renewal date was happening on September 30th. So if I didn't renew and pay my money and have the schooling done, I wouldn't be licensed the next day.
Oh no.
So I was staying up. It was it was 11 o'clock at night. So I'm the only one up. I've got my iPad right here. I've got my laptop on my lap. I've got Vanilla Sky playing in the background and I've got my phone and I'm just pissing around on Twitter, right? So then I'm watching between, doing this update and, everything else that's going on, I'm watching the TV and, that movie Vanilla Sky. So it's got Tom Cruise in it and Penelope Cruz and Cameron Diaz. Okay. 2 very beautiful women and Tom Cruise. And I tweeted out at Tom Cruise, you're one lucky SOB. You get to make love to not only Penelope Cruz, but also Cameron Diaz. And think I gave a thumbs up emoji or something like that, or a happy winky smiley face or something like that. And I kind of left. It was 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I go to bed. I wake up the next day and I check my phone, check Twitter, and there's a notification at Tom Cruise followed you.
What?
Yeah.
Let's
I'm like,
go.
get out of here. No way.
Let's go.
So my wife's in the kitchen. I come downstairs and I'm like, still think this social media shit is a fad? Do you think it's bullshit? She goes, yep, nothing's changed since last night. I said, well, what do you think of this? And I showed her my phone, and it said, and Tom Cruise is one of her favorite actors of all time. And it says, at Tom Cruise followed at Kelley Skar. She's like, get out of town. Couldn't even believe it. So it's one of those things. It's like a little known fact that people don't know about me, that Tom Cruise follows me on Twitter.
Dude, that is so freaking cool. But no, to take that further though, like with social media, a huge hack people don't think about, speaking of how we talked about going slower and slowing down earlier, if you can just go deeper with something that emotionally moved the other person,
right?
He probably himself thought exactly that when he was in that segment, filming that segment with those two beautiful women.
Right.
He probably felt the same way. But then you called it out, and then he was like, "Yep, that's me. Like my subconscious. Now someone else thinks the same thing that I think, and then boom, here it is." And so if you just like, that's why you look at all these posts that are out there. It's just like, fuck the emojis.
Yeah.
Like, go deeper. And if you can write literally 4 sentences that's emotionally going to move someone on any post, it doesn't matter what it is, you can get that person to slow down for a second and be like, oh my God, like, who are you? What's going on? And then
I actually had that piece of advice. So I started running some ads around school, around our community. And I did a video ad. It was actually part of a 5-day challenge that I had done with this other group. And so, I posted the video up in the group, and I was just looking for some feedback.
Yeah.
And, I got a lot of pats on the back, a lot of attaboys and that sort of thing. And then this one gal, she posted this feedback, and I read it. The first time I read it, I'm like, my heart rate started going up. I'm like, I can't even, okay, hold on a second. Let me reread this for a second. I went back because I was really mad. And then I started to reread it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, she's really right. Like I totally missed like this whole part of the video where I was like, I should have went deeper with not only like who I am, but what's the hero's journey? Like, why would people want to join this school platform? Why would they want to join the community? Like, who is this dude? I'm seeing this video pop up on my feed, but I don't fucking know this guy. And all I hear is like him trying to sell me on something, right? Instead of actually telling them like, take them this whole idea, this story arc of this way of storytelling of the hero's journey, right? And that's exactly what she said. Like, who is the hero in this story? What does your journey look like? Like, why are you the expert? Is what she said.
Ooh.
Like, what makes you the expert? Why are you popping up in my algorithm now? Right. So it's this like, if you're going to put content out there, it can't just be, I'm going to put a picture of my plate of food like it used to be. Like people would do that on Twitter all the time and take a picture of our food and see where we were. Right. And then you get a lot of likes and comments and stuff like that. But, it's different now. The food is great, but tell the fucking story around the food. Like if you're a real estate agent, you're taking a picture of food, like what restaurant were you at? Like we were at Oso last night.
Yeah.
Cool place. The vibe was really neat. Like very, very cool location.
Yeah.
Like if I was an agent, I would want to be focusing on like the nightlife in downtown Gilbert.
Yeah.
I'd want to go and feature Oso as, part of my IG. Like I do a live from there. I'd post photos. They've got some really cool, like there's a cool mural on the outside of the building. Like before you even go in, there's like, they've got other stuff that clearly I think were designed for people to take photos of themselves in front of these different things inside of the bar.
100% on purpose. And then it's like, you see it all the time, like that School of Hard Knocks guy. He's going out with just a phone, some guy filming him, and a microphone, asking millionaires or trying to find millionaires, hey, how did you get successful? What did you do? You're an agent. You're someone that wants to showcase the area. We actually have a guy who showcases Gilbert, Arizona. He's not an agent, but he just talks all about Gilbert, what's going on, does different things, features. Go interview the people that are waiting for them to, waiting for a table. They're sitting outside. They're hanging out. Yeah. Hey, can I get a couple questions with you really quick? I just want to get your feedback of this place. How's the food? How's the ambiance? Why do you come here?
Right.
Boom. That could be short form, could be a long form video.
Yeah.
You get a compilation of that, put it on YouTube. I think that there's so much being untapped and totally missed out on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do like the area content, and you could do market. Okay, cool. Market video. You could do the listing stuff. But I think that going deeper with asking residents questions,
yeah,
that's a super cool concept. And
right.
just go to a park, ask the residents about the park, go to a community, try to find a resident who wants to talk about the community, go into downtown, talk to the residents about downtown. Dude, let the freaking people speak for himself. Then all you got to do is be the front man or girl and just be like, hey, y'all, today we're going to go downtown. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to find out the hot spots and see what the residents have to think.
Right. I had a coaching client, actually. He ran this idea by me. He's like, what do you think about me starting a podcast? I'm like, yes.
Ooh.
He goes, well, you haven't even heard the idea. I said, I don't care. Just fucking start it. Do it. Like, you're going to feature the community, right? Yes. You're going to talk to community leaders? Yes. Entrepreneurs? Yes. Business people? Yes.
Yes.
Do all of that.
Yes.
Like, okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. I go, why? Like, number one, why do you need my validation? Right? Number two, like, why you don't need my permission to do this? Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I wanted to know if it was a good idea. I guess that's why I wanted the validation. On top of that, he's like, I had a real estate coach before you, and I brought this idea up to them, and they said, no, don't do it. I'm like, well, it's a good fucking thing that you hired that person and then fired that person and then hired me.
Yeah.
Because that's insane that they would say that.
Hello.
I have another guy, a friend of mine, he's a colleague, and he had this real estate. It was a team leader. He was on this guy's team, and the guy on the team was like, I don't want you going and getting any more training. You don't need it. I'm going to train you. And by the way, I'm going to tell you the books that you're going to read. It was at that moment that this gentleman realized that his real estate career is in trouble, right?
Oh my God.
He was like, I'm getting the fuck off of this team. This guy is insane.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what books you're going to read, and I'm going to train you. I don't want you going out and getting any more training. What are you, crazy?
What the hell?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, anyway, I can't remember where I was going with that, but.
No, you're good. No, just in general, like, YouTube thing, content, and coach, and him saying, hey, should you do this? And he said, yeah, it's a great idea. Why would you not do that?
Yeah. And this is the same guy as well. Like, I think somebody else, a coach, had told him, yeah, don't waste your time with YouTube. It's stupid. It's like, dude, it's not stupid. Like, and this guy's now at 1,100 subscribers on his channel. Right. And he's one of the only content creators in our area that is as consistent as you need to be in order to be able to generate clients from it. And he's getting calls, he's getting clients, and it's going to start generating income. Right. So he's not going to get the brand deals. He's not going to be at, 100,000 followers or 100,000 subscribers on that channel anytime soon. But dude, he's going to continue to crush it. He's going to continue to create content. He's going to continue to resonate, connect with people. Like, this was the thing. Like, I remember the very first set of clients that I sat down with after I'd launched my YouTube channel, we're on a Zoom call together. I'd actually blown my knee out and I couldn't drive. And so I was doing all of these, this is 2023. So I'm doing all of my calls over Zoom. And even though we lived in the same city, and I'm in my office, I get onto this meeting with this couple, great young couple. And they're like, she says, look, honey, it's his office. It's the same office on his videos. And I'm like, okay, this is really weird, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude. Like, yeah, I don't know what you got, like what pedestal you put me on. This is really weird. Right. So we all kind of had a good laugh about that, but it really is like with that type of content, I don't care if it's Instagram, I don't care if it's YouTube or whatever, as long as you're reaching past your current set of subscribers or followers, there will be a certain celebritization that you wind up experiencing at some point. Yeah. People will look at you as a like a different cat. Like I did this once in a training, and I'm like, I was explaining this whole concept to people. I said, okay, so I'm standing up at the front of the room. I'm delivering this training. I go, okay, everybody grab their pen. So it's like 40 people in the room. They grabbed a pen. I said, okay, you got a piece of paper beside you? Yeah. Okay. I want you to take the piece of paper, take the pen. I want you to draw a circle in the middle of the paper. So they grab their pad of paper, they draw the circle, and I said, okay, put your pens down. I go, why did you do what I just told you to do? The room was silent. They all kind of looked at me. I said, because I'm up here standing at the front and you're all down there sitting in the chairs. And I'm not standing here trying to be egotistical or trying to be arrogant, but I'm here for a reason and you're there for a reason. So I want you to think about this from a YouTube perspective. You're the one on one side of the camera talking about the thing that you want to talk about, and people that are consuming your content are on the other side. They're the ones sitting in the chairs.
Yes.
So you're the one at the front of the room. Those clients are the ones sitting in the chairs. So what happens? They see you as an authority figure. They see you as someone that's got knowledge. They see you as a celebrity in their local market.
Yep.
Right. And so once I kind of explained it that way, the whole room got it. They were like, fuck, that just totally makes sense.
Dude. And that's why on Liftoff Agents that sponsors our show, we partner with Channel Junkies, Jesse and Jackson, Levi Lassick, Travis, and those guys. And we build the better mousetrap with the website, with the guides, with the high value.
Right.
So there's less holes in the colander. So that way, when you're on the videos, filming the content, then your SOP, KPI, CTAs, call to action, drive them to the site.
Right.
Download the guide, go to the map. Then they can explore the other areas, schools, restaurants, parks, all the things to do. And then it really rolls out that red carpet and gives them that white glove service. And that's where we've really been able to just catapult. And, you know, we're seeing, like we said earlier in the show, find the patterns.
Right.
And there's now so many agents that are coming and they're attracted to us. And it's all by referral. I mean, we had two schedules just today, you know, 2 others we met today. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, these are the guys, this is what they're doing. And so, yeah, I think it's amazing. And it's fine. Like, it's better to have a niche market. Like, if you're out there trying to be the next Alex Hormozi, fine. Then you'll have hundreds of millions of views and brand deals. You can do $105 million in one day. Book launch, fantastic. But honestly, I think that, like, that game sucks. It is so much work.
Oh, yeah.
The brand deals, the consistent with content, all the things that you have to do. Like, not to say that I want it to be easy, but I want it to be easy. Like this, like my goal for this is to be like the next Joe Rogan, but even bigger.
Right.
You know, getting into philosophical, esoteric, different types of conversations that you typically wouldn't hear on other shows, other things that you're listening to, from just like 2 regular dudes. You know, and next you know, we're getting some heavy shit halfway through the episode. Hope you enjoyed. You know, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just, pick your lane, y'all, but find the patterns.
Well, and that's, you know, here's the thing. This is something that I run into all the time with agents is they say, well, yeah, okay, so you're telling me to do video. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't know what to say. Okay. You're a real estate agent. How long have you been in the business? I don't care if you've been in the business for 5 minutes. You have a story to tell. There is content there.
Who are you?
Right. And you know, I posted my very first video blog that I did in April of 2010, and it was cringy AF. It was just so bad. I was like, I stuttered and I repeated myself, and it just sounded so dorky. I was just this young dorky kid. And, but you know, I had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And so anybody that says, well, I don't know what to say, especially now in the age of AI, dude, you're not leveraging it the right way. Right. You're not even AI. Like, even if you look at something like Uber Suggest, like Neil Patel, right. Going there, or what's his other site is, ask the
people, we the people, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So basically you go in and you put in your keywords, and it will give you all of the questions that anybody is asking with those keywords in them for your town, your state, your county, whatever. Yeah. Right. So like Uber Suggest, you can do the exact same thing. So if you were to put in real estate in Gilbert, it will pull up all of the questions that people are asking the Google about real estate in Gilbert. Yeah. And so now you've got a list of questions. So I actually did this with coaching. I put in a set of keywords for coaching, and I came up with something like 42 questions. And so there was some duplication there. So I was able to whittle it down to like 20. Yeah. Right. And so I took the 20 questions and I went over to ChatGPT. Yeah. And I had ChatGPT write me 20 blog posts based off of those 20 questions. I love that. And now I've got 20 blog posts that I can start posting up to I've got 10 uploaded so far. Yeah. I got another 10 to do over the course of the next 10 days. I love that. And we can go even deeper with this. I have a good challenge for anyone who's watching. If you are in the real estate space or want to get on YouTube, and who knows, maybe you could try this with your clients as well. Get them out their comfort zone. Go out to downtown. Go to downtown and interview people of the city and ask them that same question. Right. If I was to film content to I was to film content to feature our city, what would be the top thing that you would want to know? Right. Do that with 20 people, 5 people, 10 people, 15 people. Boom, there's 15 videos. Right. Cut that up, put that on YouTube, post it, and then in the video, have more people give their commentary.
and then you make it a community thing, and
Right.
people actually have their buy-in, and then people, like, you can give them their card and say, hey, you're going to be featured on YouTube. Tell them before, get their consent. Here's my card. Boom. Not only do you have the idea, now you have a subscriber, and then you have a compilation video, and then you have your next video ideas done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just with you AI at the desk. You can actually go out and have some fun with it. And plus, you have to be outside your comfort zone for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard.
And that, you know, that takes work.
It does take work.
It's like anything else. Like, you know, you can come up with the ideas, you can write the scripts, you can do all of those things, but at the end of the day, you still got to go and shoot the content.
Yep.
And either you or somebody else got to go and do the editing.
Yep.
Right? So
100%.
Gotta happen.
So I think the last thing I want to talk about or get into, I can't believe it's already been freaking 2 hours. Went by like that.
Crazy.
From the perspective of someone who's doing well, right? You have family, they're off to college here soon, you're traveling, you know, you're here with your best friend, you're thinking about potentially moving out to Arizona, you're in alignment doing what you really want to do to serve people. Like how does that feel when you finally not only just like get started and get past the fear and all the things that maybe people are thinking about, but you get to the end of it and you're not even at the end of it, but you're at the good part of it. Like, how does it feel to be free and to control your schedule and like do what you want?
Great question. There's a lot of nuance there. First of all, like our lives have been we actually just came to this realization just the other day, and our lives the last 17 years have revolved around our kids.
Wow.
Like our entire lives.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, you get them up in the morning, you get them ready for the day, you bathe them, you know, all of a sudden you're brushing their teeth, and all of a sudden they're walking and they're talking, and, you know, now you're taking them to school, and then you're taking them to soccer practice and to soccer games on the weekend, and then to baseball, and then to football. And it's like, you've got 5 or 6 days during the week where you're either doing something, or like with us, we would be, you know, the kids would go to bed when they were young, they would go to bed at 7:30 at night. You know, they would finally get to sleep around 8. My wife and I would sit there and think to ourselves, oh my God, what a fucking day. Now we can take a break. And then all of a sudden we're in bed by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, right? And now we're at this level where our kids are driving, they've got a car, they've got this certain level of independence. Sports is over now. Now we're into this next phase where we're searching for universities, trying to understand what it is, the first career that the kids are going to wind up having. And we've come to this realization that our entire 17-year journey has revolved around these 2 little dorks that we raised from little peanuts to, you know, the kids that they are today, young adults that they're going to be. And it's like, okay, so what does this next phase look like? Because this is not easy. Yeah, it's tough, because when your entire life revolves around taking your kids to sports and to school and to, you know, birthday parties and to this and to that, not to say that we weren't getting together with friends and having fun. We've been absolutely doing that. Yeah. But it was like our whole world's kind of revolves around these 2 kids. And now we're kind of at this level where, you know, personally, it's like we get home at the end of the day, we eat dinner, and then we watch some TV, and then we go to bed. And that's been happening for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. And my wife and I are looking at each other going, we're sick of this shit. Yeah. We got to figure some stuff out here. Yeah. What's next? Let's get out and do some things. Right? Yes. Let's go to a trivia night at a pub sometime. Like I'll get involved in a Bible study class and go do that for like one night. Maybe we'll join a spin class, or instead of going to the gym in the morning, maybe we'll go in the evening. Like, come up with maybe I'll go back and try and play volleyball again. I don't know. That's why I pulled my knee out the first time. But so now we're trying to figure out, and this is what I'm saying, like, this is nuanced, right? So it looks like we've kind of have it all, but dude, like, there's so much under the surface where we're trying to figure it all out as we go along as well. Right. The cool thing though is that, I think there's going to be a lot more travel for my wife and I in the future. Love it. I love traveling with her. Like I said, she's my best friend, and we get to have these amazing discussions. And, she likes to run. I just kind of show up, and usually I'm the cheering section, but she's like, well, they've got a 5K. Do you want to run it? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'll go run it. Yeah. Let's do it. Why not? Yeah. Right. Be there together. And so, what does this next phase look like? Like, what does it feel like to be here? I'll tell you, like, right now, I feel like we're in a bit of a state of flux. Okay. And but there's no question in my mind that we're going to get through this relatively quickly. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about making a move? We've been talking about this thing for probably a better part of a decade. I mean, we talked about moving to Colona for like probably the better part of a decade before we pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah.
And, so not to say that we're, it's going to take us another, cause I don't really have a whole lot of time left, man. Like, another decade for me, and I'm in my 60s. Like that's not, I'm staring at a decade going, holy fuck, I'm going to be old in like 10 years. So will we make this move? I don't know. I don't know, man. What I'd love to do is come down here and just rent something for like 6 months and just
why not?
That was one of the mistakes that we made when we moved to Kelowna, moved back to BC, was that we came here, we went there, we spent a little bit of time, but we didn't spend enough time to really get a sense of what it was going to be like to live there.
Oh no. So you just like jumped in, deep end, here we go.
Right. So we did a couple of weekends where it was like, okay, we're going to come out and Airbnb it. And then I think we did one that was like 4 or 5 days. Keep in mind, we had vacation there like many times throughout our lives, and together and not, and so we felt like this was the spot that we wanted to be in, and it turned out it isn't that it isn't, but there was a lot of shit that we didn't realize with making this move, like the expense of it. Like it is way more expensive to live in BC than it is in Alberta. Cost of living is way more.
Got it.
Right. Taxes, like paying tax on used vehicles, which is nutty to us.
Wow.
Insurance. The one thing, property taxes are actually less money in Kelowna than where they were in Calgary. So, the median income is less. Like I think the average person in Kelowna makes less than $80,000 a year, where in Calgary it's like $110,000, $120,000 a year. Right. So there's all of these different things. So like, would I just pull the pin, sell my house and move down here and go, oh, he's got this great school community, he's coaching clients, he's doing what he loves, he's wanted to do this for a long time, and it's clear that he's passionate about it. It looks great, but you scratch the surface a little bit, it's not totally put together just yet.
No,
it's not the answer that you were looking for, but
I love it.
It's the real answer.
And that's what it is. It's keeping it real, and I think that even with, I have a 7-year-old, but still, even with us at times, it gets nuanced. And it's like spicing it up is a good idea, and doing things to be able to either get together with friends and family, going out and doing something in the community or whatever, just to kind of have fun with it. And contrast is always good.
Yeah.
Get that contrast, which is nice. And I think that it's good for someone who's listening out there, because then maybe they could do something different, as they raise their families, who knows, and they go through that process. And that's something that I'm thinking about too. I'm like, all right, I got 10 years, 10 years she'll be out. Right. And my goal is to travel. I want to travel. I want to have homes I own that could be Airbnb in different locations.
Right on.
And I'm crazy. I want a private jet and all this stuff. And
right.
And it's like, all right, let's go fly out to our Hawaii spot. Let's go fly out to California, see the family a little bit there. Let's go fly out back to Arizona. Let's go up to up north property and have that. So we'll see. Yeah. But dude, congratulations on everything, man. And I appreciate your honesty, because at the end of the day, I think that you could have answered it like, oh, it's great. Kids are going to be leaving, got, this new thing coming and, all the things. But I think that is also like, it's also nice too, because you found your lane.
Yeah.
And you 100% control it.
Yeah.
You're not working for the man. You are the man.
Yeah.
You're serving, you're supporting, you have your clients. That's awesome. You found how you could be of service to individuals out there. And I appreciate you coming all the way out here,
No, I appreciate you, man. Yeah.
Of course. We talked about this months ago.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's make it happen. You're on the other show. And then, with this, I like this to be organic. Like, the team doesn't scout guests as much. It's not the same. Even my partner's like, is that too much like the Liftoff and the Alien? I don't know. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, Smith, trust the process. Trust the process. Because I think these are the type of conversations you need to have, where you can actually have a meaningful, deep conversation, or who knows what can come out of it. Maybe you're out here for 6 months of the year. Hey, come on over.
Right.
We do game night. We like tea time. Like, let's play games, let's hang out. Who knows where, even things will go because obviously we're going to stay connected.
Right.
And maybe we'll be on a stage one day in the future together.
You never know, man.
You never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm down, and follow this guy. Check him out. Give him a follow. Links are down below. If you are in the space of real estate, maybe you want to check out his coaching platform. Join his school. And yeah, man, I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thanks so much for it.
Thank you for watching today's episode of the Liftoff Experience, as it is our intention to be able to help you have more liftoff in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's why we bring on amazing individuals and amazing episodes to be able to help you do as such. New episodes come out every single Saturday. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with one thing that you took away from the episode. And if you have a compelling story that you wish to share and you want to come to Phoenix, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona specifically, to our recording studio, we'd love to have you on an episode. And a big thank you to Liftoff Agent, who does the thumbnail, writes the copy, does all the content for our show behind the scenes. That's all I do is find guests, point and shoot, and have a good time. So thanks so much to Liftoff Agent team. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode, and just do us a favor and like, subscribe, give us your feedback so we can get this out to more individuals. And of course, you can share this with someone else that you think that should see it, because at the end of the day, we all have to help each other and serve each other to have more liftoff. And now, our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and see all of our other videos. If you're listening to this, just go to the Liftoff Experience on YouTube. And if you're watching this, then you can see on the screen that we have lots of episodes that you can take a look at and you can watch today to be able to go deeper with different subject matters to help you have more liftoff in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. God bless. We'll see you all on the next one.